guess I'll just kick off with John Gray, as you all know, suffered a fracture to his throwing wrist. We're going to get more scans today and have a true diagnosis on the severity of the injury and what the prognosis for recovery is. But regardless, he's likely to miss extended time. And we'll know later today or tomorrow as to kind of what a better timeline is. But I would anticipate at least 6 weeks, no throw. And then from there, we'll have to build him back up. That's probably best case scenario. So don't hold me to that timeline. And then obviously with Cody Bradford's injury as well, we are going to slow play it with Cody, go 4 weeks, no throw for him, make sure that this heals up and recovers. So our hope is that in that 4-week time period, he'll feel much better. And then at that point, we've got to build him back up. So tough week on the starting pitching front. But I do believe we have very good arms internally that we can depend on. It may not be a traditional starting five, so to speak, where every pitcher is going, 18 outs plus. But we have good ways of bridging this and pairing the right guys together, and we'll continue to explore external options as well to see if there's anybody, whether it's in another camp or on the free agent market, who may be a fit for us to hold things down while we wait for Cody and John to return.
So, I know all of these things are fluid, right? So, with Cody, when you said 4 weeks no throw, are we talking 4 weeks from today?
4 weeks from
when you shut it down?
Uh-huh.
So that's probably into April sometime.
Yeah.
And then you're basically starting spring training over, essentially.
Yeah, I think some of that will depend on what we feel like the role for Cody is. We could probably expedite it if we wanted to get him back on a shortened down role, and we could, it will take more time if we lengthen him out to start. And some of that may depend on where we are from an injury standpoint and where, who's throwing well and what the need is.
But that's where you could expedite it, is if you brought him back almost like it's a piggyback guy, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to need that.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Do you have, I just did a quick Google search, which obviously is dangerous, but I didn't find examples of guys who had fractured throwing wrists.
Oh, good. It's good to know. No, you can tell me. I don't know.
I've already forgotten the name.
Yeah.
I saw somebody who fractured his non-throwing wrist. I just haven't.
Anytime a pitcher sustains an injury to a fracture to their throwing arm, it's concerning. Our hope is that we get good news that this is just a clean crack, so to speak, and that it'll heal up and he'll be able to jump right in. But my guess is that his throwing arm will be immobilized for a period of time. That has an impact on the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments. It's severe. I mean, we're going to have to make sure we're cautious in the way we build John back up.
Obviously, you've got a guy like Jack Kamar building up his starters. How much changes this juncture with building up other guys, altering roles, thinking things with a week and a half?
Yeah, Sean, it's a good question. And we went through, I met with the pitching group this morning. We met upstairs in the front office this morning and talking about where we are in spring training. And we feel very good about a number of the arms in camp, some of the external guys that have thrown very well. Murphy, Bosley, Hauser, Jesse Chavez has shown well at times. So they're guys, some of those have a lot of major league experience. Buchanan is one who got off to a slow start, but will likely provide some innings at some point, or could possibly. We feel good about some of those, and then some of the young guys too. Teodo has been shortened down in camp, but we had plans for him to go to AAA and start. We talked about keeping him shortened down and him being impact leverage. Do we lengthen him out a little bit where he can be a 6 to 9 out option for us? And I think with his stuff, that's very realistic. So it is very fluid right now. We're still sorting it out. The next 10 days before opening day, there's a lot of things that can happen. But we like the quality of arms that we have internally. We recognize that some of those may not have necessarily big league pedigree or success, but it's up for us to be creative and deploy these guys in a way that sets them up for success, but we do believe the quality of arms is still pretty high, and we're excited about that.
Where do you stand on Dane?
Dane is obviously, he's been an important piece for us. It's not been his best spring. Last year wasn't his best year either, and so I think we're hoping to see more. There's some mechanical adjustments that he's trying to make right now, and our hope is that here quickly we start to see those. But
I'm sorry.
We probably need to see a little bit more than we've seen right now.
So in your mind, would he not, even if you see more, would he become a realistic candidate to start, or would you think he's more valuable in that relief role?
I think right now, and the way he's been used, we've kept him in the relief role. We'd love for him to start. I'm not sure the performance merits that at this point.
On the external guys, and trade talks are one thing, but there are a couple free agents that are still out there.
Yeah.
Some that have been very serviceable arms,
Mm-hmm.
some that have pitched for this club.
Yeah.
Do you have the ability to explore that financially?
Well, I think it depends on what the market is. There are limits, but we're going to have those conversations and see if their market aligns with what we can do. I think that's our job, to continue to find ways to improve the team and support the team, and we'll have those conversations. Whether or not the sides align, to be determined.
Again, fluid. Is John Gray going to need surgery, or are you still?
We don't know that. That we're getting more scans to determine that. Yeah.
Is it important when you build out your pitching staff to have a lefty who can go multiple innings, be it in the rotation or in the bullpen?
You'd love to, Jared. We're going to take the 13 best pitchers to help us win, who we feel those are, lefty, righty, ambidextrous, whatever it is. We want the guys that are going to help us get the most outs. Performance will dictate that. Yeah, but we're not going to make a decision to put a lefty in there that doesn't belong there. We're going to take the 13. We've got a number of guys who can get lefties out, so we feel good about that. But performance will dictate who we take. Yeah.
What confidence has the adjustments that Walker has made over the past couple weeks given you in terms of if he doesn't?
Yeah, we see Kumar as a very viable Major League starting pitcher. Off to a slow start this spring. Thought he threw the ball better than maybe his results last night. Still not dialed in from a command standpoint. There's a better pitcher in terms of his command in there. But there has been progress. Probably at this point wondering, can we continue to get him enough outings and his inning build up and get his command dialed in quickly enough for consideration for the opening day roster. So still to be determined, but saw some progress last night, had some tough results, but some positives that we took away from. So he's going to be a big part of this team, and our hope is that it's sooner rather than later.
With a couple of those NRI guys like Hauser and Murphy, what have you seen from them throughout camp?
Yeah, they've attacked the strike zone. They've thrown strikes, and that's one of the things that as it relates to Dane, we haven't seen enough of. So I think there's like a separation there with guys that really, we've got a great defense. We don't want to put guys on base. We want to attack the strike zone and really be aggressive and depend on guys that are not going to beat themselves. And those guys have shown the ability to do that. Murphy especially has been very, very good. We saw his outing against the Giants a couple days ago. It was very impressive, and want to continue to see more of that as we get down to the last week of camp here.
On Walker, you mentioned trying to fine-tune some things just in time for opening day.
Yeah.
Do you think with however many days left, how many starts he can make, that is close enough where you can do that?
Yeah, Sean, it could be, his next bullpen, it clicks, and all of a sudden it's there. One mechanical adjustment, and it locks in. And I thought we saw that. I thought the fastball life last night was better. They didn't get good swings on his fastball. And so the next thing is, can he dial in the command of that pitch? But we're seeing progress. Yeah, but it can click quickly.
This is almost going to come out kind of like a fan question, I guess, but you've got Leiter and you've got Rocker, two
Mhm.
guys you've invested heavily in, two
Yeah.
guys who both pitched for you at the big league level.
Mhm.
I know you never want to get ahead of yourself, but what keeps you from saying, okay, it's time for them to step into those roles? Because you've got 2 spots open on the rotation.
Yeah, if it is those, I mean, it's a performance-based game. They have to earn it. They have to earn it. But we have a high level of confidence in both of those players that they are going to be, are going to be quality major league players. But just to say that today, I think is premature. I think they have to continue to finish out spring training and perform. They shouldn't be given anything. They should have because once they earn that opportunity, they know they are the right person, that they're not given it because of their draft status or the money invested in them. They're getting it because they actually earned it. There's a big difference mentally in a player knowing that I belong here because I'm the best player versus I'm being given this opportunity but somebody performed better than me.
Jack Leiter and using with Rocker, just fine-tuning his command a little bit, but what else would you want to see from Leiter with the
Yeah, just the continued consistency. We've gotten his pitch count up to, I think, 60 pitches. We need to get it up another at least 15 to 20 pitches. And consistency in attacking the strike zone. We've seen flashes of brilliance this spring and moments where we walk the bases loaded. So eliminating those time periods where he loses command of the strike zone, he continues to attack with his best stuff. But it's been, I think, a very positive spring for Jack. I think he's in a great spot, and I think he's, if he continues what he's done, I think he's got a very good chance of making this club.
Hey, see what, going into the spring, before anything else, right?
Mhm.
When you talk to people, kind of the feedback I felt like I got was there was a route for Leiter to make this club kind of as a multi-inning
Yeah.
reliever. There didn't seem to be as much talk about Kamar in that role. Is that accurate or inaccurate? I mean, if you kept one,
We've had that discussion with Kamar, and it's not how we see him long term. But again, we're looking for the 13 best pitchers to help us to win. We want to get off to a good start. We want to win. Get off to a good start in April, and the 13 best players in whatever respective roles. That's to be determined, and a lot of guys have broken into the big leagues by doing that. Our situation now may be such that there is now more opportunity in the rotation, and they may be headed to those spots. But again, we've got a few more outings to determine that.
and last year you signed Lorenzen late, right?
Yeah.
And he came in, I think, he waited 10 days before he made his first start?
Yeah, and he was actually ready to go, and when he got here in camp, sustained, he slept on his neck wrong, and we had to shut him down for 5 or 6 days at the outset, so that set him back. But otherwise, he was in a good spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you confident, like if you brought somebody in, if you brought one of those free agents in, are you confident you could leave here with?
I mean, I
Just
have
don't know.
no way of knowing, Evan. I don't know what they've been doing. They've been sitting on the couch. They've been throwing live BPs. I can't say. So, yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
End results aside, what have you liked about Alejandro Osuna? Like, what are the things that really impressed you?
Yeah, just the way he's competed, the way he plays the game, the way he runs the bases, the energy, the competitive spirit. He's not afraid. Those are qualities that suggest he's going to be a good major league player. The talent kind of the talent speaks for itself. The performance speaks for itself. What do these intangibles look like? And just watching the way he takes secondary leads and goes first to third, or anticipates balls in the dirt when he's on third base. I mean, these things are small little winning details that stand out for him and suggest he's going to be a very good major league player because he's talented and he cares about the other things that are going to be separator skill sets for him.
No, hitting in AAA, hitting in the majors, there's a big gap. But defensively and on the bases, is there a gap between being a great defender in AAA versus the big leagues, being a great base runner?
Yeah, just the speed of the game is slightly faster at the big league level. And we feel like we've got very good tools to help us evaluate metrically how a player can defend, and that we can translate that between AAA and the big leagues. But there are intangibles. How is he anticipating? How is he reading swings? How is his jump off the ball based on what he's seeing? So there are things like that. There's a mental engagement that good players have, and he has that, and suggests that he's going to be a very good major league player. Yeah.
C1, does Evan Carter have to win a job on this roster?
Every player has to win a job on this roster. I mean, if you're not performing, that's not about Evan. I'm just saying that this team is talented, and we've got a lot of good options, Evans. So, I don't. Nobody's being given anything. Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't want you to interpret that as Evan is on the outside looking in or not winning a spot, but to suggest that Evan would have a terrible – he's not having a terrible spring training, but hypothetically, if he were having a terrible spring, to suggest that he doesn't have to win a spot, like that's we are counting on Evan being a very important piece of this team. And we've seen what Evan can do and the player he can be. And I think the last couple games, or he played in a minor league game, and then last night had a very good game over in Peoria. That's what we want to see from him. Yeah.
Is there a better way for me to phrase that question? Like, were there any doubts based on what you saw the first couple of weeks?
I thought he got off to a good start. We've had a little lull mid-camp, but that's true of other players too. So, how's he going to finish? Where is he as we make decisions? And that's true for a number of players as we come down to the finish line. Yeah.
What have you seen from Adolis since he got back from the opening?
Yeah, I think the oblique allowed him a few days to kind of work on the swing, find his rhythm, his timing, and we've seen kind of the Adolis that we're accustomed to, which has been fun. So it's exciting to see this guy get going. He's such a big part of our team, and to start seeing him swinging with authority and impacting the baseball, it's infectious and just exciting. Yeah. So I'll say this, as I told the staff this morning, this is part of the season, it's part of the journey, but this team is built to withstand these things, and it doesn't make it fun, but I'm excited for the opportunity and the challenge here, and I know our guys are too, and as with all winning teams, you get guys that step up in unexpected ways, and that's my expectation for this group, and we get a little challenge right now, and it's a great opportunity for some guys to step up and earn an opportunity to become very good major league players. So I'm excited to see who that is.
Did you go to Peoria last